Hello, crafty friends. This is Anya General with Ink, Paper, Scissors. In today's video, I'll be sharing 3 quick and easy stamping techniques that you can do with any large floral stamp. I will also be sharing a bonus card at the end, which uses a different technique. I won't be walking you through that one step by step, but I wanted to include it for a little extra inspiration. For all of today's techniques, I'll be using the Peach Blossom stamp by Gina Designs. This is such a beautiful large floral image, and it's perfect for techniques like these because you can really stretch one stamp to create multiple different looks. Before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I share card making ideas, techniques, and inspiration to help you get more out of your crafting supplies. I have also linked all the products used in the video description below, as well as in my visual supply list. Many of these are affiliate links at no extra cost to you, and they truly help support my work and allow me to continue bringing you free content. I'm starting out with an A2 piece of Neenah Classic Crest cardstock, and I'm grabbing my blending brushes. I'm not adding any fresh ink for this background. I'm just using whatever ink is already left on my brushes, which is a great way to use up leftover color. I begin ink blending with a purple brush in one corner of my cardstock. Then I move on to a light blue, slightly overlapping the purple so that a deeper blue forms where the two colors meet. Next, I bring in yellow, again overlapping slightly with the blue to create a soft green in between. I'm trying to keep the center of the cardstock lighter, so I continue blending lightly and gradually, building up color around the edges. Then I move into red, overlapping with the yellow to create a bit of orange, and finally I come back in with purple in the upper corner to balance everything out. This gives me a really soft, blended, almost rainbow-style background, but because I'm using leftover ink, the colors stay muted and subtle, which works really nicely for this technique. Once my ink blending is complete, I bring in my MISTI and align my Peach Blossom stamp by Gina Designs in one corner of the cardstock. Once I'm happy with the placement, I close the MISTI door to pick up the stamp. Then I ink it up with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and stamp it onto my panel. I like to press gently and give the ink a moment to transfer so I get a nice, solid impression. As soon as I lift the door, I already love how this peach blossom image looks against that soft blended background. Next, I clean off my stamp and rotate my cardstock 180 degrees in my MISTI. I realign the stamp in the opposite corner, this time angling it slightly differently so the floral looks a bit more dynamic and not perfectly mirrored. I ink it up again with VersaFine Clair Nocturne and stamp it a second time. I really love how this came out. This is such a simple technique, but it creates a lot of interest with very little effort. To finish the card, I adhere the panel to an A2 card base and add a sentiment from the same stamp set. The soft hint of color in the background adds just enough interest, while still allowing the bold black floral to really stand out. Now, let's move on to technique number 2. For this technique, we're stepping it up just a little bit. I'll be using StazOn Opaque cotton white ink and acetate. Before we begin, just a quick note, StazOn will stain your stamps. The white version is a bit more forgiving, especially if you use a StazOn cleaner, but staining can still happen. It won't damage your stamps, but I know some people prefer to keep theirs looking clean. For this card, I place a piece of acetate centered in my MISTI. Then I ink up my Peach Blossom stamp by Gina K Designs with the cotton white ink and stamp it directly onto the acetate. This ink is perfect for slick surfaces like acetate because it dries very quickly and doesn't smear, which makes it ideal for techniques like this. To make sure I get a solid impression, I stamp it a second time. Once I carefully lift the acetate out of the MISTI, I'm really happy with how crisp and bold that white floral looks. Now I bring in my StazOn cleaner and clean both my stamp and my sticky mat to remove any remaining ink. Next, I set the acetate aside and bring in Gina K's Master Layouts 2. I used the large stitched rectangle to die cut a panel from black cardstock. Then I bring in some champagne glitter cardstock and use Master Layouts 18 to die cut a frame. I trim down my acetate so it fits neatly behind the frame without extending past the edges. For adhering the acetate, I strongly recommend using double-sided tape instead of liquid glue. Glue can take a while to dry, and because acetate is such a slick surface, it can shift around before it sets. It can also seep through and show behind the acetate, which is something you definitely want to avoid. Double-sided tape gives you a much more instant and clean adhesion, and it helps keep everything nice and flat. So here, I'm adding tape to the back of my frame, making sure to get good coverage along the edges, and then I carefully line up my acetate and adhere it in place. Next, I start adding dimensional foam tape behind the frame to create my shaker element. I like to make sure my foam tape is placed closely together so that the sequins don't escape into any gaps. A good tip here, while I was adhering my foam tape, my roll actually ran out right at the end. The last few inches of foam tape often aren't sticky on one side anymore, so instead of wasting it, I like to add a strip of double-sided tape directly to my frame first, and then layer the foam tape on top. That way I can still use every bit of my foam tape without having to throw anything away. And here's the part where I left in a little real-life moment. After removing the backing from the foam tape, I started reaching for my sequins and didn't realize that everything was sticking to the exposed adhesive. So my sequins ended up all over the foam tape, which made things a little tricky to clean up. I had to go in with tweezers and fix everything before continuing. Once that was sorted, I added my sequins into the center and adhered the black panel on top to close the shaker. Then I adhered the finished shaker panel to a white A2 card base, added a sentiment, and that completes the second card. Now let's move on to technique number 3. For this card, I'm using Gina K Cranberry cardstock, which is a beautiful deep color and works perfectly for embossing. Dark cardstock like this really helps metallic embossing powder stand out and gives a very rich, elegant finish. I trim it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches and place it into my MISTI. I center the Peach Blossom stamp over the panel and pick it up with the door. Next, I treat the cardstock with anti-static powder. This step is especially important for embossing because it helps prevent stray powder from sticking where you don't want it and keeps your edges nice and clean. Then I ink up my stamp with VersaMark ink. I stamp the image onto the cardstock, making sure to apply even pressure for a clean, crisp impression. If needed, I like to give it just a moment before lifting the lid to ensure the ink transfers well onto darker cardstock. Then I sprinkle gold embossing powder over the panel, making sure the entire image is covered, and tap off the excess before heat setting. As the powder melts, you'll see it change from a dull, grainy texture into a smooth, shiny, almost liquid-looking finish. That's when you know it's fully melted. If it starts to look flat or dull again, that usually means it's been overheated, so I always keep the heat tool moving. I absolutely love how this looks. The combination of gold embossing on dark cardstock is always so elegant and gives such a professional, almost luxury feel to a handmade card. To finish the card, I cut a piece of gold metallic cardstock to 4 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches and adhere it to my A2 card base. Then I layer my embossed panel on top and add a sentiment. And that completes the third card. Now let's quickly take a look at my bonus card. For this one, I stamped the peach blossom image with an alcohol marker-friendly ink and colored it in. I used the glorious Gatefold die to cut 2 panels from pink glitter cardstock and adhered those to my card base. Then I added the die-cut floral on top and finished it off with a sentiment. And those are my cards using 3 simple stamping techniques plus a bonus idea for inspiration. I'd love to know which card was your favorite. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. As mentioned earlier, you can find all the products linked below, as well as in my visual supply list. Many of my links are affiliate links at no extra cost to you, and I truly appreciate your support. I've also linked my Facebook group below. I would love for you to join and share your creations with our crafty community. I'm also working on something fun for the group that I'll be sharing in May. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Until next time, happy crafting.